Matter of if schools should reopen. It's simply a matter of how.
Coming up on NBC Palm Springs, despite startling COVID-19 numbers, the White House is eager to open back up schools. We'll dive into what local districts are planning as the clock ticks down to the start of the school year.
This is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gino Lamont.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. More on schools in just a moment. But first, as President Trump focuses on getting kids back in school, the U.S. crosses another grim milestone. More than 132,000 Americans have now died from coronavirus, with the U.S. seeing 3 million cases as of today, as Riverside County sets another new one-day case record with over 850 cases reported today alone. 324 of those are from the Coachella Valley. 9 new deaths were also reported in the county and 4 of those in our desert. Indio has the most cases in the valley with 1,678 cases. Indio also has the most deaths at 42.
Yeah, and as you just heard, another record-breaking day for positive coronavirus cases here in our county. Our Nico Payne is live outside Eisenhower Health with more news from Governor Newsom's press conference earlier today. Nico.
Yes, the governor ordered the closing of various indoor activities for counties that were on the state's watch list. Last week, there were 19 counties on that list. Now, there are 26. And today, he spoke about the numbers and concerns about PPE shortages.
The new number we just got in a few hours ago, which Carmela didn't even have the privilege of having, which we're just putting out publicly, shows a 44% increase in hospitalizations over the last 2-week period. So you're seeing the total number of hospitalized increasing to 6,100. Again, that represents a 44% increase over a 2-week period.
Despite that grim news, Newsom offered some reassurances, saying that the state was fully equipped and capable of handling a surge in cases. Hospitalizations are still at 8%. The governor stressed that the main drivers for recent outbreaks are not enough people wearing masks and physical distancing, and also an increasing mixing of households. Reporting live, I'm Nico Payne. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Nico. A key coronavirus model is now predicting more than 208,000 deaths by November 1st. That's if mask policies stay the same. If 95% of the population wears masks, 45,000 lives could be saved.
Riverside County says some folks are simply not cooperating with contact tracers. These so-called disease detectives do the important work of tracking down who may have been exposed, where they've been, and who they came in contact with. Our Kitty Alvarado has more on why this work is becoming so important and so challenging. Kitty.
Well, Juno, this is critical work in stopping the spread of the virus. And while they understand the hesitation from people giving them information, the Department of Public Health says what they ask is limited and is never shared, and more importantly, can save lives.
Isolating and contact tracing.
Trace every person.
Disease detectives.
We've heard a lot about contact tracing and the difference a simple phone call can make that informs someone they may have been exposed or exposed someone to coronavirus. Daniel Brown, a contact trace lead with the County of Riverside, says this virus is challenging to trace.
In the 17 years that I've been working for the county, I haven't seen anything like this. Because again, people can get exposed to the virus 2 days before somebody's even showing symptoms.
Posing another challenge is some people they call do not cooperate.
People don't believe that the county is going to this extent to reach out to them to make sure that they're safe and healthy.
Also, some think it's a scam or don't want to give out names and phone numbers of the people they exposed. But the contact tracer will gladly help you verify they are who they say they are, and the service is free.
Several things we do not ask for is any bank information or social security number.
What they do ask for is your name, birthday, symptoms, and names and phone numbers of people you have exposed. Marcia Penny, the county's contact tracing supervisor, says your name will not be shared with anyone, not even your employer. The county also stresses they will never ask for your immigration status.
The information you provide them is private. It is confidential. It will not be shared with anyone else.
She says they're there to help, not judge.
We don't lay any blame. We try to remove stigma, the stigma of not only having COVID, but the stigma of possibly transmitting COVID to somebody unintentionally.
Daniel says the most rewarding part of this job is when they save entire households, especially those with high-risk loved ones from getting sick.
We've had families call the nurse line and thank us for giving them the heads up that they might have been exposed so that they don't take it back to their homes or take it back to their grandparents.
So if you get the call, pick up and help.
If we want to stop COVID, it's really important that we all work together.
And the contact tracers will also answer questions about the virus and provide resources, anything from food to free health care. You can help your loved ones and community slow the spread by cooperating. I'm Kitty Alvarado.
All right. Thank you, Kitty. The U.S. now has an astonishing 3 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. But even in the middle of an outbreak, the White House is making a new push to get kids back in school this fall.
It's absolutely essential that we get our kids back into classroom for in-person learning.
Former CDC Director Dr. Tom Frieden says it would be difficult, if not impossible, to operate schools safely in communities where coronavirus infections are out of control. Parents, teachers, and students are still in limbo as the new school year inches closer here locally. Some districts are planning on reopening in less than a month. But what will school look like when it does reopen? We're learning it all depends on the district. This week, local districts are having to make some critical decisions. Our Daytona Everett is live with more on that tonight. Daytona.
Sarah, yesterday, Palm Springs Unified School District had a meeting. At that meeting, they decided to start the school year out online. Now, other local school districts are having to make some tough decisions of their own.
So we're very much going to put pressure on governors and everybody else to open the schools.
President Trump is urging states to open schools as soon as possible. But with COVID-19 as a threat to public health, setting a schedule in stone has been quite the task.
It's one thing to miss your friend and another thing to be sick or possibly worse, pass away from the virus.
Trina Alisi, president of the Desert Sands Unified Teachers Association, says DSUSD has an August 19th start date for students, about a month away. But how school will look is uncertain.
You don't know if it'll be in person or online yet?
No, that's what the school board will decide tomorrow.
Palm Springs Unified announced Tuesday their August 5th start date will be online. They hope to begin reintroducing in-person classes September 8th. Alisi says if Desert Sands follows in their footsteps and goes online, they'll be more prepared this time around.
Comparing what happened in the spring with what could potentially happen in August if we do start distance learning would be comparing apples to oranges.
Coachella Valley Teachers Association's president, Carissa Carrera, says CVUSD is a step behind the other districts. They'll meet Thursday, but will not vote on next steps. When asked about the possibility of going online, she says, quote, "We can always do it. We'll make it work, but it'll be a struggle because of the lack of connectivity. Internet has been an ongoing concern for online schooling. One of many concerns as teachers, parents, and students try to navigate their toughest lesson yet." DSUSD's meeting starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. You can catch it online on their website, on the district website, and of course, full coverage here on NBC Palm Springs. Reporting live from Palm Springs, I'm Daytona Everett.
All right, thank you, Daytona. Harvard and MIT are suing the Trump administration after ICE officials say international students will have to leave the country or risk deportation if all their schooling happens online. This would affect nearly 1 million students studying at American universities.
We should consider that many of these people, many of these international students come from developing countries. There is a reason why we stayed here. There is a reason why we decided not to go back to our home countries. And this is one of the reasons, but also, the health risk of going back to our countries.
This is just one of the latest policies coming from the administration, putting restrictions on legal immigration. Last month, the Trump administration suspended employment-related visas as well.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
We're taking a live look now from our Agua Caliente casino cam in Rancho Mirage. Hot day out there. NBC Palm Springs meteorologist Jerry Steffen is joining us. Mike has the night off. Jerry, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
Well, yeah, 110 was the high. We slipped a couple right now, 108, but that's kid stuff compared to what we're going to see this coming weekend. 10-mile-an-hour winds right now, 5% relative humidity, very dry out there. Doing our temp check, Yucca Valley 90, still triple digits at 29 Palms, 103, a sunny 100, Desert Hot Springs at that number, 108 at Coachella, 108 also at Palm Desert, Palm Springs, 108, same for Cathedral City. Clear skies and satellite and radar over Southern California. High pressure still with us tomorrow, so tomorrow will be basically a carbon copy of today. We'll see mostly sunny skies to begin the day. Light onshore flow developing late in the afternoon, but 109 to 113 a range of highs. Dew points upper 20s, low 30s with relative humidity that'll again be in the single digits. So it's going to be another dry day. Triple digits begin at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning and eventually getting to that 110 mark. Now it's going to be even hotter this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday we're under a excessive heat warning with temps above 115 and could get as high as 122 for the Coachella Valley. Here's a little sample of the next 3 days under Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Palm Springs at 111 tomorrow, moving up to 113. That'll be Friday afternoon's high with partly cloudy skies. 116 Saturday. Yeah, and then some 120s on Sunday. Full forecast and all the numbers in just minutes.
All right, thank you, Jerry. New tonight at 6, with families struggling during the pandemic, there's been a push for more housing in the Coachella Valley. The city of Palm Springs is working with the Riverside County officials to make it happen. Our Regina Rita has more on this story.
They've had people dying of this left and right. So, yeah, it's kind of scary.
Donald Roberts, who's sheltering at the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission, says he's relieved to have a bed to sleep on. But 2 weeks ago, he was afraid knowing he and his family could contract COVID-19 while camping on the streets.
They were nice enough to take us in and everything and feed us and give us clothes, all that. So, I mean, it's a godsend for this place.
Since the shutdown, Coachella Valley Rescue Mission has been struggling to meet CDC guidelines and also says a surge in homelessness has caused an overflow of residents looking for shelter in their facility.
19 hit and this pandemic surged and all the restrictions came from CDC and Governor Newsom, we realized we couldn't respect 6 foot of social distancing and sleep more than 8 people. That means 42 people would have been out on the streets.
That is why the city of Palm Springs, along with Riverside County, have come up with a plan to bring several emergency shelters and transform a Palm Springs hotel into a social distancing safeguard for homeless.
We had been awarded that money, but we actually just now received it. And so we've been looking for opportunities to partner with the county to provide permanent supportive housing.
Majority of the homeless community have not only had to deal with the emotional stress of losing their home in the midst of a pandemic, but are now also trying to survive living in the streets in triple-digit heat.
That need help because the money, the jobs, the businesses closed and not all of them reopened.
Adding urgency to a problem that precedes the pandemic. Regina Urita, NBC Palm Springs.
Multiple businesses in La Quinta targeted overnight. Police say they do have the suspect in custody. Cliff House Bar and Grill and the VCA Animal Hospital were both vandalized. And the Q from the City of La Quinta sign also stolen. Police spotted Marco Trujillo running through businesses after running from police. He was eventually placed under arrest. Police found the Q from the sign in his camp underneath the 111 bridge.
One person is recovering in the hospital after a shooting this morning in Desert Hot Springs. When officers got to the scene, they found just one person suffering from a gunshot wound. No word on how that person is doing tonight. The incident is still under investigation.
And a man on death row in San Quentin dies of what appears to be complications from coronavirus. David John Reed was sentenced to death after fatally stabbing an unarmed black man outside Billy Reed's in Palm Springs back in 2004. Reed told investigators he stalked the area for 2 weeks for a man he believes sexually assaulted his estranged wife. The attack was considered racially motivated. San Quentin is the site of a coronavirus outbreak. At least 6 inmates are believed to have died from the virus.
The James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center in Palm Springs is vandalized early Tuesday morning. The police have a suspect, but he has since posted bail. The community is still upset the place where they gather was targeted.
I see glaring on the wall all these negative words in writing
all over the wall. And then I noticed the front door glass was shattered. And then I noticed there's tires thrown and big rocks and boulders all over the building. It just shocked me.
Sharinda Gatakonda of Palm Springs was arrested on suspicion of allegedly committing a hate crime.
Police say they believe vandalism at Iron Palm Tattoo Parlor is likely linked to the vandalism at the Unity Center. The graffiti appears to be similar, and police now believe Gatakonda spoke with them earlier in the evening, saying that he had been shot in Palm Springs. If you have any information about any of these incidents, you're asked to please call the Palm Springs Police Department.
The Laugh Factory Comedy Club unveils a 148-foot-long mural as a tribute to Black Lives Matter in West Hollywood. The large mural was painted by 5 local Black artists. It's believed to be one of the largest in the nation, created in tribute to BLM.
And now to another viral video racist rant. A family in Carmel captured video of a man spewing racist insults at them while they were eating in a restaurant. The man is the CEO of a San Francisco tech company called Solid 8. Melanie Woodrow has the story.
Raymond DeRosa and his family were having dinner on his wife's birthday, July 4th, at Carmel Valley restaurant Lucia.
We were there just celebrating, having fun.
When that fun quickly disappeared, as the man you can see in the background of the celebratory picture began ranting.
Suddenly I hear this loud voice, effing Asians.
Arosa's niece, Jordan Chan, recorded what happened next on her cell phone.
Say that again. Oh, now you're shy?
Michael Lofthouse gave the family the finger, then said,
Trump's gonna you. You need to leave now.
You need to leave.
Oh, you do not talk to a guest like that.
What's wrong
You need to leave.
Asian piece of
Oh my God.
He was full of hate and anger. It's sad that there's still people that are like that in this world, let alone in this country.
A Lucia employee quickly stepped in.
Do not talk to our guests like that. Get out now.
Who are these?
They are valued guests.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
they're valued guests.
Yeah.
I admire her for that.
In an emailed statement, the vice president and general manager of Bernardus Lodge and Spa in part writes, quote, "We are proud of our staff at Lucia in keeping with Bernardus Lodge's core values." Michael Lofthouse also issued a statement writing, quote, "My behavior in the video is appalling. This was clearly a moment where I lost control and made incredibly hurtful and divisive comments. I would like to deeply apologize to the Chan family. I can only imagine the stress and pain they feel. I was taught to respect people of all races, and I will take the time to reflect on my actions and work to better understand the inequality that so many of those around me face every day."
He's just saving face, I think. I think he really meant what he said and what he did. I don't believe his words because his actions speak louder than the words he's saying.
Arosa says those actions in part include additional Instagram comments that appear to have been posted by Lofthouse directed at one of the family's supporters that include Asian expletive and "come near me or my people and you are expletive dead." Lofthouse did not respond to a request for an additional comment about the Instagram post or his role as Solid 8 CEO, a San Francisco-based tech company.
I can't say what he did was acceptable or right. No, it isn't. It isn't, because a lot of people will probably disagree with me by saying I forgive him, but I do.
That was Melanie Woodrow reporting. A San Francisco official is proposing an act that would fine those who call 911 over racial bias. Karen is a nickname to identify usually white women who make false claims about someone because of their race. A well-known example is the quote, Central Park Karen you saw there. So now a San Francisco city supervisor is proposing the Karen Act, but it's Karen with a C, standing for Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies.
Okay. Coming up, new tonight at 6, coronavirus pandemic is changing the way we travel. We're going to talk to the head of one of the largest airports in the world one-on-one. That's coming up after the break. Plus, it's not just schools that have new guidelines. The CDC just released new recommendations for voting this fall.
And after a massive data dump from the Small Business Administration, we're now learning more about who exactly benefited from the $520 billion bailout, including their connections to people with political power on both sides of the aisle. The Bachelorette has landed. We'll show you where filming is starting for one of America's biggest reality shows. That's still ahead, so stay with us.
Joining us now is Chris McLaughlin of the Denver International Airport. We're talking about travel in this COVID world. Chris, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this because let's be honest. One of the worst parts of traveling was simply getting onto the plane, followed by the actual worst part, which was being on the plane. But that being said, is it going to be possible now to screen not only for security reasons, as we have for years now, but also for health reasons? And how exactly is that going to work?
Yeah, so certainly it is possible, and it will be possible to do it better. This is the aviation world that we live in, and I've been a part of it for decades, is one that has to be adaptive and constantly ready for tomorrow's threat. So a decade ago, 2 decades ago, it was security. Right now, we truly are talking about health as the greatest risk that we're facing. And what makes it more complicated, right, is when you're talking about security, you're talking about a limited number of adversaries that are often a long ways away. In the COVID world, we're talking about friends, neighbors, family, and it makes the situation more complicated. A lot of industries try to just layer on top new stuff. What we are focused on is making sure that we're putting layers in place that are adaptive and can handle a multitude of threats.
All right, so we're talking about self-certifying, but you're going to need to actually test people. Is there a scanning machine that we can walk through it? You can see if we've got a temperature or if there's something else going on with us. I mean, I know there's a lot of privacy issues that we've had in the past, especially with security checkpoints. But seriously, if you're going to scan me for a gun, can you scan me for a fever at the same time?
Yeah, and kind of that's the point that I was making earlier, is we can scan you for anything, right? And there definitely is technology out there that will scan for high temperatures. And as part of our pilot initiatives, we're not eliminating any option from the things that we may employ to expedite the experience. But it's important to know that you can't rely on one device or one tool. We know that a fever in and of itself isn't the only thing that we should be concerned with, number one. And number two, we know that there are ways to defeat single systems. So we want to make sure that we put in a holistic system that gives us the best opportunity to understand someone's overall health status and that person's status and impact to the rest of the community.
Yeah, and how do you do that with, let's face it, the TSA lines are already excruciating. How do you achieve what you talk about while not adding to that wait time and the incredible lines that we often have to stand in just to get into the airport?
Right, it's a good question. So one of the things that we want to look at, when we built the TSA PreCheck program, we got away from what we used to call a one-size-fits-all model. And that's what we're trying to do here, where today we tell people across the country, show up 2 hours before your flight. That, frankly, isn't always the right answer. So with the solutions we're putting in place, we want to take advantage of the periods in the day where we have some lulls. So by essentially booking a reservation to show up at 9:45 instead of 10 o'clock, now I can show up to a guaranteed seamless experience through a dedicated lane, a dedicated train car, and I'm not slowing anyone else down by doing that because I've chosen to arrive during a period of the day that is less tense than another period. That may be earlier than I otherwise would have shown up, but in many cases, it actually might be later than I otherwise would have shown up, so I may be saving myself time.
Chris McLaughlin from Denver International Airport, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your time.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is still leading the way when it comes to the coronavirus pandemic, despite having the highest number of cases of any country in the world. Pompeo also says the U.S. is making progress in regard to European travel.
We are putting in place a set of metrics that will determine when it's appropriate and safe for the American people to allow travel to come from other countries. Both sides of the Atlantic want to get this back open. Both sides understand that our economies depend on it. The deep, important transatlantic relationship matters.
Well, last week, the EU banned American travelers from entering any of its member countries. The U.S. saying that the U.S. is simply just too dangerous when it comes to coronavirus.
President Trump welcomed Mexico's president to the White House today to sign the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. President Trump and Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador briefly posed for a photo op before their meeting. The agreement will took effect July 1st, replacing the North American Free Trade Agreement. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau skipped the meeting.
We'll be right back after the break. Jerry has a look at our forecast. Hi, Jerry.
Hey there. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be about the same as what we saw earlier this afternoon. But this weekend, I have another reason for you to stay indoors. Forecast coming up.
All right, so Mike's taking a week off there.
Yeah, so I found out yesterday.
Mike is getting a whole week off. Jerry, how do we let this happen?
The question is, am I going to get some time off?
Yep, as soon as he gets back.
Okay, then I'm out of here, right? Okay, yeah, today was a hot one, but normal early July hot. As we look at our Walter Clark cam on 111, blue skies over the valley. We'll see more of it tomorrow. Some clouds will begin to sneak in after that. Today's high 111, normal 107, the record high 119. Yeah, we weren't close to that today, but give it a few days. We'll get there, I guarantee that. 107 right now at Palm Springs. Same for Coachella. 105 under clear skies at Thousand Palms. 103, 29 Palms. 91 at Cabazon at this hour. 72 at Big Bear. Began at around 40 this morning. Now, clear skies on our satellite imagery over the Coachella Valley, much of the southwest. Nothing on radar either at this moment. We're looking at temps that'll be, like I said, close to what we saw today. So tomorrow, high pressure, keeping those numbers slightly above average. 109 to 113 under lots of sunshine. Some clouds moving into the area as we move into the second half of Thursday. Dew points upper 20s, low 30s tomorrow, and it's going to be hot quickly. We're going to see triple digits begin to show up in the Coachella Valley in the 11 o'clock hour and eventually climbing to 110 or better tomorrow afternoon. That includes 111 at Palm Springs, Palm Desert and Indio, a 110 for a high tomorrow at Thousand Palms, even triple digits up north. Cabazon will be just above 100 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Then things change big time by this weekend. Saturday, that ridge really begins to strengthen its influence over the southwest, and we're going to see record temperatures definitely Saturday. The range of highs 115 to 120. Mostly sunny skies and very light wind to give you any relief. Specifics for Saturday include 116 at Palm Springs, 118 Thousand Palms, and Palm Desert, 119 at Indio. Even around that 110 mark up in the high desert, triple digits around the San Gorgonio Pass. Sunday looks like the hottest days for the Coachella Valley. 120, 121, 122s for the valley. Just to put it in perspective, the all-time record high for Palm Springs is 123. Okay. Excessive heat warning Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 115 to 122. The range of highs those 3 days. That includes the high desert too. Getting in on the heat. Here are those record high temps that we have to break. Not going to meet it on Saturday, as our high is only going to be 116. The record 121. But Sunday, yeah, we could tie that, and thermal could bust that record of 120 set back in 85 by hitting 122. That's the forecast high. So a lot of sunshine. Clouds begin to move in late Thursday into the weekend. Surface moisture, like today, quite dry. We'll see single-digit relative humidity, but those numbers move up a little bit as we head into the weekend. Okay, here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 111 today, 113 tomorrow. Look out, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Excessive heat for the valley.
The Supreme Court issues a ruling allowing the Trump administration to weaken the Affordable Care Act contraceptive mandate. The law requires employer-provided health insurance plans cover birth control as a preventative service at no cost. The decision clears the way for exemptions for employers who cite religious or moral obligations.
The CDC says people should have multiple voting options during the upcoming elections. The agency urges both the workers and the voters use face coverings in order to reduce the spread of COVID-19. The guidance also says the number of polling locations available for early voting and on Election Day should be massively increased.
Now to someone trying to get his name on the ballot in November. Kanye West says he no longer supports President Trump. He says he also believes he had coronavirus back in February. West says he was turned off by reports Trump hid in an underground bunker during recent protests. Kanye has missed deadlines in multiple states to get on the ballot. He says his presidential push is not a publicity stunt.
Okay.
Not a publicity stunt. When we come back, it's time for today's top stories. Again, first, the growing pressure on schools to reopen and how Riverside County residents are not cooperating with contact tracers. And the latest from Governor Newsom on our state's COVID-19 response.
Plus, parents aren't just worried about schools. What about youth sports and playgrounds and pools, especially in this triple-digit heat? Are cause for concern. Some things to keep in mind when you're out with your family doing activities. We'll talk about that when we come back. President Trump is urging states to open schools as soon as possible, but with COVID-19 as a threat to public health, setting a schedule has been a difficult task, to say the least. Local school districts are now having to make the decision on whether they should go online or not. PSUSD says they'll be starting online and then phase back into in-person classrooms. DSUSD, meanwhile, is a meeting tomorrow. They'll decide how they're going to handle it. The Teachers Association says that they do decide to go online, they'll be prepared.
Comparing what happened in the spring with what could potentially happen in August if we do start distance learning would be comparing apples to oranges.
Coachella Valley Teachers Association says they're worried about a lack of connectivity for students in their district.
Riverside County Public Health says some people aren't cooperating with contact tracers. These so-called disease detectives do the important work of tracking down who has been exposed and who they may have come into contact with. The county stresses they do not share your name or information with anyone. They do not ask for banking information, social security numbers, or immigration status. Daniel Brown, a lead contact trainer with the county, says this virus is challenging to trace.
In the 17 years that I've been working for the county, I haven't seen anything like this. Because again, people can get exposed to the virus 2 days before somebody's even showing symptoms.
The county says they will verify their county contact tracers when they do contact you. They will also answer any questions and provide you with resources.
On the same day, Riverside County posted another record-setting day for COVID cases. Governor Gavin Newsom spoke about the concerns California has surrounding PPE shortages.
The new number we just got in a few hours ago, which Carmela didn't even have the privilege of having, which we're just putting out publicly, shows a 44% increase in hospitalizations over the last 2-week period. So you're seeing the total number of hospitalized increasing to 6,100. Again, that represents a 44% increase over a 2-week period.
Despite that grim news, the governor says the state is capable of handling the surge in cases. Governor Newsom also stresses the primary spreaders of recent outbreaks are people simply not wearing face masks and not social distancing.
Taking a live look now from our Agua Caliente casino cam in Rancho Mirage. Looks like a wonderful evening out there. Looks nice, although I think it's pretty hot out there. Jerry Steffens filling in for Mike Everett tonight. He has a look at those conditions out there. Jerry.
Yeah, it was a hot one today, but it's going to get even hotter this weekend. 107 our current temp right now, winds at 16 miles an hour. They did pick up over the past few minutes, but very dry. We have single-digit relative humidity. That'll be the case again tomorrow. Doing a temp check around the valley, 89 degrees at Yucca Valley, still 100 degrees at 29 Palms, 97 at Desert Hot Springs, clear skies there, and breezy conditions, 106 at Indio. Palm Desert, 107, Rancho Mirage, 106 at this hour. Yeah, clear skies, plenty of sunshine earlier today. We'll see the same situation tomorrow. Nothing on radar, of course. High pressure still boosting those numbers slightly above average, 109 to 113. Pretty typical for early July. We'll have an onshore flow that'll kick in late in the day tomorrow. But it'll be dry again tomorrow. Single-digit relative humidity with dew points that'll be in the upper 20s, low 30s. Triple digits tomorrow begin at 11 o'clock. And this weekend, excessive heat warnings in effect. You probably heard by now. We could see some 120s Saturday, Sunday, and again on Monday. Our Comfort Air 3-day forecast, 111 today, 113 tomorrow. 111 tomorrow, 113 Friday, and then 116 on Saturday as those numbers move up. We'll have the details of how hot it's going to get in just minutes.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Home buyers are rushing back into the market as mortgage rates hit new lows. Mortgage applications rose 5% for this week. That's a booming 33% higher than last year. Experts say the only thing standing in the way of more sales is the record low supply of homes for sale.
And the coronavirus pandemic has now claimed one of the country's oldest and most prestigious retailers, Brooks Brothers, filed for bankruptcy today. They say they're going to shut down 51 stores. A decision they say is because of COVID-19 pandemic. They have not announced if Palm Desert's location will be one of those stores to shut down. Brooks Brothers was founded back in 1818.
Levi's sales fell 62% in the second quarter. The company says it will be slashing about 15% of its global corporate workforce, impacting about 700 jobs. Apparently, online sales weren't enough to make up for store closures. Levi's CEO says a complete recovery will likely take some time.
The pandemic is boosting job opportunities for freelance workers, though, according to a new report from Freelancer. Job openings increased more than 25% during the April to June quarter of 2020. That compared to the first 3 months of the year.
If you're trying to inject some positivity into your Instagram feed, a new feature called Pinned Comments could be just the thing you need. Instagram began testing the feature in May, but now the social media app is rolling out the feature for all its users. The added option allows you to pin a few comments to the top of your posts. Instagram hopes this will help limit the harassment and bullying that can go on the app.
All right, still ahead, as schools get ready to welcome kids back, parents are concerned about youth sports, playgrounds, and pools, especially in this triple-digit heat. When we come back, we'll have some tips on how to keep the kids safe while they play.
And The Bachelorette has landed. We'll show you where filming is starting for one of America's biggest reality shows. That's ahead, so stay with us.
Out on the field, back on the court, for millions of children playing organized sports, this season has been like no other. And now the CDC has updated guidelines for youth sports safety in the age of COVID-19. Most of the advice are practices already being encouraged for everyone. Wash hands, stay home when sick, and practice social distancing. But for sports, it's also recommended that there be no handshakes, high fives, fist bumps, and no sharing of equipment, towels, or clothing.
Pools and playgrounds are two places all of us like to visit in the summer with kids. But how do you do it safely during these times? Dr. Frank McGeorge is answering your questions about how to reduce the risks, but keep the fun.
The risk at the pool isn't from the water, it's from the people. Less people equals less risk, so consider going at a less popular time. The CDC says the coronavirus won't survive in a well-maintained pool, so make sure you're only swimming in pools that are being tested regularly. The virus can surface on surfaces, so staff should be cleaning those often. Be sure to wash your hands after using the restroom or touching other high-touch surfaces. Take your own pool toys and try to keep 6 feet between you and others. If you can't, wear a mask when you're out of the water. Now at the playground, less is more. Try to time your visits when there are fewer kids already there. Most cities are not cleaning playground equipment because it's just not practical. Now, sunlight will help kill the virus on playground surfaces, but take along hand sanitizer too, and remind your kids not to touch their face, eyes, or mouth. If other families are there, wear a mask. Visit playgrounds closer to home and try to keep your visits short so you won't need to use the public restroom.
With pools and playgrounds, the best way to reduce risk is to be flexible about when you go and when you leave. If you get there and it's too crowded, have a plan B to do something else. We'll be right back after the break. Jerry, first has a look at our Agua Caliente cam. Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, a lot of blue skies right now. We'll see temps that'll be close to what we saw today, but it's the weekend we're worried about with temps that'll near 120. Yeah, you heard right. I'll have all the details on that scorching weather forecast in just a couple minutes. Keep it in. Pretty view from our Walter Clark cam on 111. A lot of sunshine, nothing but clear conditions today, and we'll see some of that tomorrow. Earlier today, we hit a high of 111. That's above average of 107, but still, that's nothing compared to what we're going to see this weekend. 107, still triple digits around the valley. That's the number of Palm Springs. Same for Coachella. Thousand Palms at 104, 96 and a little bit breezy at Desert Hot Springs. Clear skies on our satellite imagery over the Coachella Valley, much of the southwest. Nothing on radar over the area. Tomorrow, yeah, ridge of high pressure still keeping those temperatures slightly above average. 109 to 113 are highs for Thursday afternoon. Evening winds will be out of the west and light. Tomorrow, triple digits will kick in gear at around 11 o'clock. It's going to be a quick warm up and still quite dry tomorrow. We'll see dew points that'll be in the upper 20s, low 30s, relative humidity in the single digits, much like it was earlier today. 111 tomorrow for Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Indio, 110,000 Palms under lots of sunshine, 107, 29 Palms, even Cabazon getting to 101 tomorrow afternoon. But it's this weekend we're concerned about. Beginning Saturday, that ridge really strengthens and budges those numbers up to 115 to 120. That's Saturday's highs under partly cloudy skies, light winds. Yeah, won't get any relief from the winds, that's for sure. 116 on Saturday under partly cloudy skies in Palm Springs, 118 at Thousand Palms, 119 at Indio, even triple digits around 110 in the high desert. Sunday looks like it's going to be the hottest day with 120s, 121s, and even 122s for the valley. So because of that, excessive heat warnings have been put into place for the Coachella Valley High Desert, eastern Riverside County, again, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with the extreme heat. So clear skies today. Tomorrow we'll see some clouds move in second half of the day, partly cloudy skies into the weekend, and surface moisture still dry tomorrow, single digit relative humidity. Those dew points begin to move up a little bit Saturday into Sunday. So here's a Comfort Air 7-day forecast. Another nice day tomorrow for July standards, 111, 113 Friday for Palm Springs. Clouds begin to move in, and then excessive heat Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before the numbers begin to relax a little bit by the middle of next week.
tonight, Showbiz Report. It appears the next season of The Bachelorette is filming here in the Coachella Valley. Reality Steve, one of the most well-known bloggers in the Bachelor universe, previously said it would be filmed at the Ritz in Rancho Mirage, but he says it will now be filmed at the La Quinta Resort. The resort cannot confirm this information, but check out this viewer video sent in to us. Roads closed into parts of the resort. There are multiple large trucks, trailers, heavy equipment, and generators. Usually the cast and crew start filming in LA and then travel to different destinations across the world. But with COVID-19, reports say the whole season will be filmed in just one location. That appears to be our desert. Now to Gino with sports.
All right, time now for checking NBC Palm Springs sports headlines. The Ivy League is canceling all fall sports due to coronavirus. They're the first Division I conference to do so. Practices and other training will be permitted as long as they follow school and state regulations. Fall sport athletes will also not lose a season of Ivy League or NCAA eligibility. 2020 Ryder Cup has been postponed because of the pandemic. The PGA announced all international golf competition delayed until 2021. The main concern was logistics of bringing players from Europe or the U.S. or to the U.S. Sources say the President's Cup, which is slated for fall of 2021, will also get pushed back 1 year. Now to the NBA. Teams are arriving in Orlando to continue their season. 6 teams are already there. The other 16 will be there by tomorrow, but players will all be wearing masks as they arrive at the hotels, except for, well, that guy. The NBA plans to resume the last 2 weeks of the regular season on July 30th. And here's something that actually looks like it will happen. The UFC Fight Island series is almost here. The first 4 cards start on Saturday and lead up to a big finale on July 25th. Yas Island in Abu Dhabi will play host, and no expense has been spared in its preparation. It's a 10-acre vacation destination created in 2009. They've hosted major events before, including Formula One races, golf tournaments, and top-tier concerts. And now, Ultimate Fighting will take center stage. Saturday's event is bringing major names to the octagon like Max Holloway and Jose Aldo. Who doesn't love those guys? Now, the Japanese Baseball League, they're back in the swing of things, but fans are still not being allowed to attend. So one team brought nearly 24 robots to cheer on their players. The human and dog robots danced to the fight song of the Fukuoka Hawks. This Friday, virus restrictions will be loosened in Japan, and up to 5,000 fans will be allowed to attend pro baseball and soccer games. Well, not for us anytime soon, it looks like. We're back after this.
brighter side of the news is brought to you by Holland RV, located off the I-10 at Washington.
An unannounced light show honors those fighting the pandemic with everyday measures like masks and social distancing. Check out this amazing high-flying tribute to frontline workers and everyone helping stop the spread of the virus. 300 drones were used in the show in the skies above Seoul, South Korea. The display featured visual tributes you see here, like mask wearing, social distancing, and hand sanitizing.
And don't forget, you can vote for the winners of Duck Brand's 20th annual Stuck at Prom Scholarship Contest. One local teen, Palm Desert teen Anna Nall, is a finalist. Students submit their fashion designs made entirely out of duct tape, or how I fix everything. You can vote for Anna online right now. The website's at the bottom of your screen, duckbrand.com/stuckatprom/vote. Each grand prize winner will get $10,000 scholarship money. So good luck to Anna and her fabulous duct tape designs.
I can't believe that's made out of duct tape.
Yeah.
I can't see it. It's like far away. The screen's far away, but it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's going to do it for us. See you back here tonight at 11.